Stephanie Crespin, later to be Stephanie Reiser, born on December 18, 1984, comes from Ogden, Utah. She is the daughter of Lorenzo Crespin and Deborah Jaramillo. Throughout her childhood, Stephanie primarily resided with her mother Deborah, but she also spent time with her grandmother Alberta and her grandfather Phil. As a young girl, Stephanie had a passion for dancing, which eventually led her to become a salsa instructor. One memorable performance took place at Weber State University, where her father Lorenzo attended and presented her with a ring. Stephanie excelled academically, earning a spot on the honor roll due to her proficiency in mathematics. Unfortunately, she faced bullying from some classmates who mocked her for her African American features and nappy hair. These experiences sometimes fueled her rebellious nature as a child. Stephanie had various aspirations, including becoming a model and firefighter, or pursuing a career as a certified nursing assistant, CNA. These options were influenced by her family's suggestions, her desire to help others, and the potential for financial stability. Stephanie once owned a chubby guinea pig as a pet, but sadly, it passed away. Friendship, family, honesty, loyalty, love, and respect were among Stephanie's core values. Her religious background was somewhat ambiguous, as she identified with her father's Catholicism. As a child, Stephanie enjoyed watching movies such as Little Princess, Little House on the Prairie, Never-Ending Story, and Grand Avenue, finding parallels between these films and her own life. Like anyone else, Stephanie disliked rejection, particularly in romantic relationships. Stephanie later attended Job Corps called Kicking Horse in Montana, where she managed to accumulate a substantial amount of money. Her enrollment was facilitated by her ability to pass as a Native American. Her time there was filled with intriguing and diverse experiences, including spiritual encounters and positive moments. It was during this period that Stephanie crossed paths with a man named Shane Pullen, who displayed a strong interest in her. Eventually, Stephanie gave in to his advances, leading to the birth of her first daughter, Shauntessa. However, Shane convinced her to relocate to another state, where he rebelled against Stephanie and even attempted to keep their daughter away from her. Fortunately, Stephanie encountered a couple whom she believed were a godsend, providing her with much-needed support on her journey. Although it was a challenging path, things eventually worked out for her. Later on, Stephanie married Alejandro Arce, also known as Alex, an immigrant from Mexico. She admits regretting the marriage, as it was primarily motivated by Alex's desire to obtain a green card, for which she received $800. Nevertheless, they had a daughter together, and Stephanie can remember taking pride in teaching Alex English. One of his early words happened to be bitch. Throughout her teenage years, Stephanie became a mother to a total of 9 children, tragically losing 2 of them due to birth complications. She managed to secure a job at Teleperformance, a telemarketing company, where she worked alongside her mother for several months. As time went on, Stephanie even ventured into self-employment and dedicated her time to volunteer work for the Church of Latter-day Saints. While sports were not her forte, Stephanie found joy in activities such as shopping, photography, and dancing. Volleyball, in particular, was a sport she enjoyed playing. Regrettably, Stephanie carries the painful memory of being sexually assaulted by a family member, who later paid her to engage in actions she deeply regrets to this day. On a brighter note, one of her fondest trips was floating down the Montana River, providing her with a sense of joy and relaxation. Conversely, her visit to South Carolina proved to be a distressing moment in her life, adding to the series of tragic events she has endured. And this is how her story unfolds. On March 21, 2011, fate brought her face to face with a man named Patrick Reiser, also known as Justice. It happened as she strolled down Jefferson Avenue in Ogden, Utah. Patrick approached her, seeking a cigarette, but she had a different request in mind. "Do you happen to have any marijuana?" she asked. Surprisingly, he replied with a simple yes. Curiosity piqued, she cautiously accepted his invitation to his apartment. There was something about him that set him apart from the others she had encountered in her life. Patrick had a unique sense of style, reminiscent of New York fashion, and carried himself with an air of distinction. Despite his polite demeanor, Stephanie remained on guard, suspecting ulterior motives. His comment about her being a queen only fueled her skepticism, dismissing it as a mere ploy to win her over. Feeling the need to use the restroom, Stephanie excused herself and spent an unusually long time inside. Patrick, respectful of her privacy, hesitated to disturb her, but found her behavior rather peculiar. Finally, he mustered the courage to knock on the door, and she granted him entry. They engaged in conversation for a brief moment until Patrick unexpectedly captured a photograph of them together. "We make quite the pair," he remarked. To her surprise, Patrick extended an open invitation for her to stay at his place without any rent obligations. All he asked in return was for her to enroll in college and reunite with her daughters. Despite his seemingly altruistic offer, Stephanie couldn't shake off her suspicions. Eventually, she decided to leave, and they lost touch for a considerable time.